Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of gardening secrets to success that should help you out a lot on your gardening journey. Hopefully these help you out a lot, and if one of them helps you, please be sure to tell me down below. Now, we're first going to start off with chickens. Chickens are an absolutely awesome opportunity for fertilizer, and we're going to get into some other things in a minute, but here you go. This is not the garden. The pet flock is down at the garden. This is my production flock over here. Now, the garden, I don't know if it's more of a mistake rather than an actual helping thing. Well, yes, if the holes were smaller, yes, it would be very much helping. But now it's just an opportunity for my chickens to get out and probably get themselves killed by a fox again. So you got to remember, chickens are a massive thing when it comes down to it. Just make sure you see the allows. I have probably 80,000 full guides on them. All right, so next we're going to go over to something a bit more well-known, but chickens will, again, especially that one that's decided to escape from her pen, will help you out a lot. Compost, especially big compost bins like this. I'll tell you what, about 96% of this is probably just shavings from the chicken coops. Because when you build a massive chicken coop, it needs a lot of shavings to cover the floor, because that's what's going to help chickens, stay clean. It helps a lot. And I will say, chickens definitely big help, especially when it comes down to fertilizer and other stuff. Compost can also include kitchen scraps as well that you don't really want to feed the animals or something like that. Yeah, back in your yard. Damn right. And other things that you find in your kitchen that can decompose, such as like peppers that you use for the dinner, but there's a part of it that you didn't use, or maybe those strawberries that have just been sitting in your refrigerator for the last 4 months. Whatever one it is, it's definitely gonna help a lot. Alright, so if you notice that I have a camera pointed down at my shoes, that's really because, well, we're talking about weed block next. A lot of people don't get weed block, mostly because they think it's really for in-ground gardening rather than raised bed gardening, because a lot of people do have raised beds, especially those that live out in the suburbs. They're just more space efficient because, I don't know why they're more space efficient, because I've had 2 years of experience with raised bed, and I've had way more experience. This is my 4th consecutive year in the in-ground gardening industry over here. I will say that, yeah, this just keeps so much of this junk out of here. I gotta say, if you don't have weed block, I recommend getting it. I mean, it was 96 earlier today, so a lot of it ended up melting off. I'm not even joking. It's the middle of April here in the Northeast, and it was already nearly 100 degrees. Yeah, well, welcome to New England. It's gonna be 70 tomorrow, which is better, but what do you expect? It will melt off in extreme heat, but if you tie it enough to the ground, yes, it won't melt off. It's only because these things right here that I'm stepping on will sometimes detach. Now we need to talk about protective plants. So protective plants are stuff like basil and oregano that will keep certain pests out. Basil will protect tomatoes from, I don't remember which beetles. I probably have that screenshot still saved to my computer from August, but they definitely did help save a lot of things from a lot of different beetles. Oregano keeps deer out, and a lot of other plants as well keep deer out. Now when you live up in the Northeast, you have a lot of deer issues up here. Seriously, the coyotes are probably, man, the coyotes are just taking their nap up here. They need to get more deer, because last year, especially earlier in the gardening season, we had a lot of deer issues. I think the coyotes were taking their nap back then, but after that we didn't have any major deer issues. But, well, deer are quite annoying. They'll rip the top off your plant, and they will laugh on their way back. So yeah, I'd recommend to make sure that your garden is safe. All right, and finally, we're just gonna end it out with something that everyone knows. Cage up the most valuable things in your garden. So for me, it's blueberries, but for you, it could be literally anything else. A lot of people just say cage up your blueberries. I'm gonna say cage up whatever you want to keep. So if you really want to cage up your tomatoes because you're worried about the birds, because birds are just maximum obnoxiousness, I swear. I have to deal with these birds just chirping out my window at 6 a.m. Man, living the life where you have to get up at 6 in the morning every day. And the spring break, because it's just been so hot, it's just so obnoxious that I have to hear the birds. And worse yet, they'll go into my garden, they'll eat all the stuff out. So yeah, cage up what you want to protect from the birds, because birds are probably one of the most notorious gardening pests ever, aside from beetles, which are probably even worse. But certain birds help them, like ducks. Chickens, on the other hand, I don't trust them in my garden. All right, so if you just enjoy what you just saw, I'd recommend clicking on the video on the screen right now, or check out a playlist and click subscribe while you're at it, because it's just gonna help out a lot. We're trying to reach 2K by May 1st, so help a lot.